Hi, I'm Alice, Director in Critical Minerals Research at S&P Global Energy. Critical minerals are essential mineral inputs into US energy, defense, and industry, with supply chains vulnerable to disruption. Critical minerals are now firmly at the center of US's national security agenda. Today, US is reliant on importing its critical minerals and relying on established supply chains that were built without national security in mind. This is changing. US policy shifts can be broadly grouped into onshoring, encouraging domestic production, and overseas, building a supply chain with security as priority. Historically, new mines in the US have faced one of the longest timelines. It takes on average over 19 years to bring a mine online from being discovered. President Trump has invoked the Defense Production Act to expedite permitting for projects on federal land. There's a broader program to fast-track review processes at federal agencies and cutting red tape around many of the environmental review requirements. The government has also moved towards holding direct equity in strategic mining ventures, in addition to the traditional tools of loans and grants. Funding has targeted not just mining, but also midstream processing, which is a major bottleneck as well. In July 2025, the Department of Defense invested $400 million in MP materials in exchange for preferred stock in order to secure rare earth and downstream magnet production. A 10-year price floor of $110 a kilo was agreed for the rare earth neodymium and praseodymium products, nearly twice the prevailing price at the time, alongside with a full offtake commitment. Domestic investment alone is not enough. The US needs to collaborate with politically aligned countries that have the resources. One of the most noticeable developments is the US-DRC strategic partnership facilitated at the highest level of government. US-backed funds are looking to take over controls of key producing copper cobalt assets and redirecting materials to destinations outside of China, shifting supply chains. A US-backed fund is also looking to acquire one of the largest lithium deposits in the country, Monono South. The US has also deepened collaboration across Africa, encouraging the use of the Lobito Corridor, and sent a large delegation to the Mining Indaba event this year, which is the flagship mining conference held annually in Cape Town. US and Australia have jointly committed $2 billion to advance US-aligned critical minerals projects, as well as advancing the US producer Alcoa's plan to build a gallium plant after China placed gallium under export control. US and Malaysia have signed an MOU so that Malaysia will not ban or place quotas on its rare earth exports, and the two countries will partner in supply chain investments. These partnerships aim to lock in supply at the root, at the mine level, and diversify refining and rest of the supply chain away from China-centric processing networks. In January 2026, the US announced Project Vault that builds strategic reserves of critical minerals, finance projects in politically aligned countries, and the US in return receives long-term offtake rights and priority access. There's also talks of US leading a block of partners in setting a price floor for rare earth minerals, but it's unclear by what mechanism this would function and whether partners will agree. US policies have accelerated project development domestically and overseas, without which some of the projects may not have been able to advance. This will surely improve US's self-sufficiency and security in critical minerals. But remember, these remain partial, as it takes time to build mines and supply chains. We are seeing a big leap in the expansion of US footprint in global mining, but alliances with countries appear to be transactional. They are formed with traditional allies like Australia and Japan, or can be entirely new, for example, with the DRC. The partnerships are formed where geopolitical interests align with mineral availability. We are starting to see bifurcated markets and prices, with premiums emerging for US or alliance sourced material. We saw that with lithium in 2025. the lithium carbonate CIF US price sustained a premium over the CIF